if you aren't willing to risk something, then it usually doesn't pay off, or you don't end up where you want to be. And
Freak Nation, Lucas Oil Studios, 22 years of doing this thing, and this is the first time Ryan Preece has joined us here in the Freak Nation, and it takes Ryan Preece joining up with a Freak Nation fave, Tony Stewart, Stewart Haas Racing, for the Cup season and number 41 next year for 2023. And Preece, so much to your backstory, man, is bonkers. We had no idea that you were in the simulator 24/7 helping out other Stewart Haas Racing drivers. We know of your tenure in Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, some Cup races. How did this come about? Were you kicking ass on the sim and they said, man, we got to get your ass in the 41?
Man, I did a great job. I smoked everybody in the simulator. You wouldn't even believe. But now, to be honest with you, that was part of it. That was kind of getting my foot in the door. But believe it or not, I feel like I'm pretty good at real life racing. You know, when it comes to whether it comes to Xfinity cars, trucks, modifieds, late models, whatever it may be, I've been successful at it. So, but yeah, mainly this year, I gotta say I have a lot of experience in the simulator.
Ryan Preece joining us here in the Freak Nation. In case you haven't seen it or heard about it, Freak Nation, he's taken over the 41 from Cole Custer in the Cup Series with Stewart Haas Racing, joining us here in the Freak Nation. Did you have an inclination a month ago, a week ago, that this was going to happen? And was that the whole reason why you spent so much time in the sim, was to prove your wares that you deserve a Cup ride, Ryan?
Well, it all started, I didn't have any idea of what my career path was going to be after November of last year. You know, I ran full time for JTG for 3 years, and we were parting away. They were shutting down the 37, and there was other opportunities to go out there and be a part of the show. But my goal as a race car driver is to win races and to put myself in the best position to do that. So wasn't really sure. And the opportunity came about to run part-time in Xfinity Truck Cup, and as well as do simulator work for SHR and Ford Performance. So I took that opportunity and continued to do that throughout the year. We did win at Nashville, but man, to be honest with you, I really didn't know if this was all really going to happen. I mean, really, until I signed the contract last night, or even this morning, to be honest with you. So it was a very, very sudden thing, and things moved really quickly. But I'm thankful to have guys like Tony and Kevin and you know, believe it or not, Greg Zipadelli, who runs basically the show for them. He's from Berlin, Connecticut, and so am I. There's a lot of things that we can talk about from a local standpoint, and I have a lot of respect for everybody at SHR. It's a race team full of racers, and I've been lucky enough to already been a part of the process and been around the shop for the past year and gotten to know a lot of those guys. And one of those guys happens to be a local modified legend, Reggie Ruggiero. He's a really good fabricator himself, and you know, he was just telling me he's pretty much keeping me level. Oh, you know, you got to love it when people try to call you, but yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's been a lot. It's been great to be a part of so far.
Ryan, in your role, of course, Ryan Preece, newly minted in the number 41 for the 2023 Cup season with Stewart Haas Racing. In your role this past year, who did you have the greatest communication with? Because what you were doing was crucial to what the guys would then experience on the track. And when they would have issues, as we saw with Kevin Harvick and some of the other guys, then it would come back to you to help them alleviate some of those problems. I mean, you could only go so far as the alleviations, but who was the best person that you could communicate with in order to keep everything on track for Stewart Haas this year?
Yeah, so Kevin's somebody that you know, I've had that relationship with, and there was a team that was pretty much dedicated to the simulator. So there was a lot of communication from there, and our team was a part of those conversations every week on Tuesdays post race. How off could the simulator be? What could be better? Kind of trending in those areas so we can go to work on that. And I felt like there was a lot of things, a lot of a lot of parts and pieces that go into the sim work, like tire modeling or aero model, and different like a variety of choices for them. And we started narrowing in on what seemed to be the best. And we just worked on that throughout the year and got it closer and closer each and every week.
Do you think, Ryan, that because of being so micro-focused on this next-gen car this past year, that you have a leg up versus any other Cup opportunities you've had in the past? You have a leg up now in 2023?
Well, I definitely think there's a lot to talk about when it comes to tools as a race car driver. And one of those tools is having the support from an OEM like Ford and having the ability to go to the simulator or be, all the tools that I've seen that I've been around this past year have just allowed me to do what I feel is a better job as a race car driver. And so, yeah, I feel like I definitely have a leg up going into next year.
Wow. Ryan Preece, you see that blue oval on his shirt? He's going to Stewart Haas Racing, the number 41. Just signed the contract early this morning, late last night, whenever it was. Ryan, you worked a lot on the simulator like we've been talking about. What'd you find out about this next-gen car that solves some of the problems that everybody else has been complaining about?
Well, we're continuing to work through those things, but what I will say to you is that the old cars used to be on the ground. They were on the earth. We're talking thousands of an inch off the ground. Where now we have rub blocks, we have shock limiters that only allow us to travel so far. And when you're going 180 miles an hour and your car's still basically like an inch off the ground, it just creates a whole lot of different handling issues. And so we're just working through some of those things.
Wow. You stopped right there, dude. You must have gotten the charge. So you were on the way to giving us too much information.
Yeah.
I'll let you get away with that. That's fine.
You like how I cut it right there?
Yeah, man.
You know what? The racer in me, I like to get into a lot of depth and of those things, but I also understand you got to withhold some things, right? I'll keep you guys wondering.
Ryan, that's more than fair, partner. I was just wondering how long you were going to go on this off ramp if we were going to get down to the stop sign, and evidently we did.
We hit it hard.
Yeah,
just like when my wife is driving, when she's getting to a stop sign, she doesn't gradually hit the brake pedal; she slams on it. And I'm wondering if we're just going to go through it or not. It's kind of a guessing game every time we go to a stop sign.
Crasher, we've been ordering from Omaha Steaks for so long now that we've influenced your family, including your mom. Just before Christmas, bam, right to our front door, we get those juicy steaks, tasty burgers, ready for the holiday season.
It's every season, and you know her favorite, and it's now mine too, chicken cordon bleu. I mean, it's so much more than steaks at omahasteaks.com. Chicken, appetizers, green bean casserole, broccoli gratin, corn. Oh my gosh, the variety is incredible. The quality is second to none, and the convenience?
It doesn't get any more convenient than omahasteaks.com. Use code FREAKS, FREAKS at your checkout and get $30 off your order.
omahasteaks.com. Check out with code FREAKS to be happy.
I could taste them right now. Omaha Steaks, ready to ship your order right away. So shop now. Beat the rush, man.
That's omahasteaks.com. Use promo code FREAKS to check out with $30 off your order. Minimum order may be required.
Let me ask you a different question altogether. You'd had some experience in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Series. I went through a period of time when I thought about maybe getting a modified car, and then I took 2 aspirin and slept it off. What is it about the Modified Series that a lot of drivers go through it and they like it, and it's the destination series for some pretty good drivers?
Yeah, so it's just, I'm from Connecticut, and the Whelen Modified Tour is based out of New England and the East Coast. So it was just Stafford Motor Speedway, Thompson Speedway, Riverhead, all places where I'm a champion. They were all within an hour and a half of my house. So it was just convenience more than anything. And I mean, when you look at a modified, it's just a badass race car. So, I mean, why wouldn't you want to drive it?
Yeah, exactly. I have a cousin who does television work for Stafford and Thompson. He talks about going there all the time. I don't know if you know Mark Chavis, but yeah, I mean he's done a lot, and he's talked about a lot of drivers there and the success they've had and how much he loves it. The modifieds, the super modifieds in particular in New England, they have the floppy wing, an arrow wing. That is, I love those cars. It's stunning. It's like stupid how fast they are. Did you ever drive one of those?
I actually have. I did drive. I practiced a super modified one time, and man, it's one of those race cars, kind of similar to what they say when a USAC midget is really hooked up. When the right front is hiking the wheel off the ground down the straightaway, that's what that was doing in that super mod. So it was a little different, but man, they are fast.
Yeah, and there's no sim for those, is there? I mean, especially with the engine flopped over and you sit straddling the drive shaft almost. It's an incredible car.
Yeah. I think I mean, I don't think I could duplicate something like that. But I would imagine if you were going to do something crazy, it would have to be like some old school go-kart where your head used to stick out. Then you'd have to put some sort of wing on top of it, because that's what it would feel like.
Just get the goddamn dryer and let the dryer roll you around a few times, Preece.
Oh.
Yeah, we could do that too.
Right?
That would be right. Yeah.
Ryan Preece taking over that 41 for Stewart Haas Racing in 2023. You brought up Stafford. You brought up your wife. And earlier in this interview, you said, when we were talking about the sim, of course, you said, I'm a pretty damn good race car driver, a regular race car driver too. Would your wife say that? I want to know how competitive you guys are. You met at Stafford. You raced against each other. Would she say the same thing?
Yeah, you definitely did your research here, because this is a question that I don't get asked often, but when I do, she's very competitive, and I actually raced against her. She was a rookie of the year in the modifieds, and there was a few arguments on the way home, but I'm going to speak for her, and I think she'd say I'm a pretty good race car driver.
Can you turn the phone to her and see her head? Is she saying yes or no?
Is she right there?
No, she's not here.
Okay.
That's how he could say that. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Now, hold on. Your story is just fantastic, though, on how you bet on yourself. Gosh, what are we talking now? 5-6 years ago, you mortgaged your house in order to get a ride with Joe Gibbs Racing at the time. Was she with you during that? Because talk about stress in a marriage. Holy crap.
Well, she didn't really know. So that was great to find out when that was in the article the other day. But no, she knew. She knew in the sense of the risk that I took financially to get that opportunity, but it all paid out now, right? Like we went from, we have our house and land, we have horses, which she's always loved animals, which a lot of our animals are rescues, believe it or not, but we were in a small condo in Broadbrook, Connecticut. So it's all worked out now. And I'm sure you guys have similar stories of if you aren't willing to risk something, then it usually doesn't pay off, or you don't end up where you want to be. And I've never really been somebody that isn't willing, I'm willing to risk whatever it takes to succeed and accomplish the goals that I've always wanted to accomplish.
You're with Tony Stewart.
When you did mortgage the house, was it tough to look at your bank account, because there might be a single digit, a $5 bill or $2 in that bank account?
I got to be honest with you. The couple credit cards were in debt for quite a while. And I did. There was another thing to that story. If you find the practice from Iowa, I had wore out shoes that had holes in them, and they wouldn't let me practice. So I actually, earlier in that week, I had to go buy some shoes, which I used my wife's credit card for at the time. So there's a lot more to this story than most people will probably ever know, but that's what's also made my wife and I so strong and who we are as people.
Holy smokes. Any children? Well,
don't you dare ask the kid question.
Any children?
Yeah.
Preece,
We have a lot of animals. I can tell you that. I'm not even going to start listing off all the animals, but my wife, she loves them. And, anytime she sees these rescue posts on Facebook, I keep telling her to stop following them because we keep on adding them. But that's basically like our kids.
It's more than just a slogan. General Tire delivers for whatever you do. General Tire's Grabber X3 mud terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3. General Tire delivers for whatever you do. Check out GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressively styling the speed freaks since 2001.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil parts cleaner and degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil power steering fluid?
They'll have that too.
Even the octane booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas, work.
Well, the reason I asked that is because your boss, Tony Stewart, on this show a couple of times has said if and when he and Leah Pruitt decide to have a baby, he is not going to be in the delivery room and cut the umbilical cord. Can you straighten that out with your boss and say, bro, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You need to cut the umbilical cord?
Why is Ryan going to straighten it out with them?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not even I'm kind of like in the same thing as him right now. I don't even know what to say.
That's
I'm
probably
Team Tony right now.
Yeah, that's probably pretty smart. And last thing, man, if you look on Berlin, Connecticut's Wikipedia page, there is a driver that's listed on there, and it's Ryan Preece as a notable person. There's not a Zipadelli on there, and that dude's won multiple freaking Cup championships.
Yeah.
Why don't you go in there and puff your chest up in front of Zipadelli, say, look at this wiki page, bro, I'm on and you're not.
I might just go add him on there. I think that's what you can do, right? You can get on Wikipedia and add people or do things like that. But it's I love my hometown. I've always enjoyed the people, the restaurants, and it's a small I mean, everything. Connecticut's pretty small, but it's just a small town, so everybody knows everyone, and that's another thing. When I've won some of these races, they hang banners. They're proud of it. So hopefully this year we can try to hang some banners on the bridge across from Tavern on the Tracks. That's my go-to restaurant in Berlin.
Oh.
Well, did you donate your shoes with holes in them to that tavern?
No, they're somewhere, I'm sure. Somewhere. Yeah. I don't even know where they are.
Awesome.
You autograph those, you can raise money for any animal charity you want and make a pretty good amount. That's a huge thing. Yeah.
Well, buddy, this is fantastic, man. Again, your boss, Tony Stewart's become the Freak Nation for probably part of this 22 years from the beginning. And when you have three crap starters, including Tony Stewart, we get a lot of things done. And we appreciate what he's done for us and the fact that you're part of that team. It's badass, man. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. And I know Irish would appreciate your hat right now. So I don't know if you know Irish Saunders, but he's been somebody that's really that Tony knows well, but he's been somebody that supported me a lot in my racing career as well. That's badass. Good to hear it. Ryan, thanks for doing this, bud. Thank you.